Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I will teach you guys how to make the basic bodice pattern. So this will be my measurement for today. Bust 37, waist 30, hip 42, length 23, shoulder 15, nipple to nipple measurement, that's for the darts, which is 9, shoulder to nipple, which is 10, and nape, which is our back waist measurement, is 16. So let's just get right into it. Okay, let me just keep this here. First things first, we'll start with our center front, this CF, and center back CB. We'll start with our center front, and the standardized neck measurement or neck width measurement is 3. For the center front is 3 by 3. So we'll be marking 3 inches in and 3 inches out. Then we roll that in with our armhole curve. You can use any kind of curve you have, but personally I prefer using the armhole curve or armhole ruler, depends on what you want to call it. Next measurement we're taking in now is our shoulder, and our shoulder measurement is 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So we're marking 7.5 in there too. 7.5 in there. For the front armhole, we'll be going inside by 1.5 inches. This is because the shoulder is not balanced, so we'll be going inside by 1.5 inches, and we'll be rolling that in there with a smooth line. And the next thing we'll be doing now is to draw our armhole curve, and to do that you need to know what your armhole measurement is, and to get that that is 37 divided by 6 plus 1.5. 37, which is our bust, and 37 divided by 6 plus 1.5 is 7.6. So we're marking 7.6, and 7.6 is a little bit below 7.5. And note, if you don't know how to measure, in a video to show you or to teach you how to measure your tape rule, please always make sure your line is straight at all time. Please, it's important. And we'll be drawing this our armhole line into our center back, because we'll be needing it for our center back. So that's for that. We'll also be drawing a straight line. To connect the shoulder and the chest point together, because basically this is the chest points here. This line here is the chest point. So for our center front, we're going up by 2 inches, inside by 0.5 inches. This is to get the curve. So we're going inside by 0.5 inches and marking that in there, and we're drawing a slant line to connect them together. A slant line, and we'll be inputting our bust measurement, and our bust measurement is 37. 37 divided by 4, because this is on fold, because this our pattern paper is on fold, and 37 divided by 4 is 9.25. So we'll be marking 9.25 in there. Don't know if you can see it clearly, please. Marking 9.25 in there, and we'll be connecting our armhole curve to our bust width, and would actually smoothen every line in there. So that's that. The next length or next measurement we'll be taking is our waist, center front waist measurement, and our center front waist measurement is 19. And how do you get your center front waist measurement? You measure from your shoulder to your navel and subtract or minus 2 from it to get your waist. This is like a standard to get your waist. So this is what we're doing here. Marking this inside 19, marking 19 all around, so you can get a smooth and straight line. And we'll be connecting this line together. Please always make sure your line is straight. It's very important. Always make sure your line is straight. So from this, we'll measure our darts, and we said that our darts is our nipple to nipple measurement. Our nipple to nipple measurement is 9. That will be 9 divided by 2, which is 4.5. We're taking 4.5 in for our darts. 4.5 in for our darts, and we'll be taking 1 inches for our darts. That is 0.5 inches on both sides. 0.5 inches on both sides, and we'll be rolling in our shoulder to nipple measurement, and our shoulder to nipple measurement is 10 because we'll be needing that here in our basic bodice pattern. 10. We'll be rolling that in. Also, we'll be taking our darts, which is 4.5 here, marking it here, and going below this by 1 inch. Going below by 1 inch, and going below our waist by 4 inches. So, connecting the line together. You know, pattern drafting is all about connecting each line to the right place or to the right side. It's actually extremely easy. You just have to know what and understand what you're doing. So we're connecting the darts also together. Connecting each side of the darts together. Next thing we'll be doing now. The next thing we'll be doing now is taking in our waist measurement, and our waist measurement is what? Our waist measurement is 30, and 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. But always remember this this theory. Anything you take out, which is our dart, you always have to add it back into your measurement. It is very important. It is a very, very important procedure. So we're adding 1 inches back to 7.5, which will give us 8.5. Marking that in and connecting our lines together. Connecting our lines together. I told you already, drafting is all about connecting your lines together, connecting the right lines together. So next thing we're doing now is our center back measurement. I remember I said that the standard for the neck width is 3, but for the back and the neck length would be 1 inches instead of 3 by 3 that we used for the center front neckline. And we'll be connecting this together. Connecting this together. The next thing we'll be doing now is to take in our shoulder measurement, and our shoulder is 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. Taking that, and for our armhole in the center front we went in by 1.5, but the back will be going in by 1 inches, and we'll be connecting the line together. I'll also be teaching you how to get your waist snitch and to reduce the puffiness at the back of your center back. So next thing we'll be taking in is our waist, and our center back waist is 16. Please remember that our center front waist is 19, and our center back waist now is 16. The center back waist and the center front waist can never be the same, simply because of the bust. Because of the bust, it can never be the same because of the bust, because the bust practically takes more measurements out. Be connecting that together. I'll be measuring the difference between our center front waist and our center back waist, which is 3, and we'll be putting that 3 beneath our nipple line, which is this line here, nipple line. This is our chest line, and this is our waist. So we'll be putting that 3 inches, that's the difference, on our nipple line, and be connecting it to that point on the nipple line. That's 4.5. Done that. So let's continue with our back. This is our chest line, and this is our center back waist. Understood? So the next thing we'll be doing here is that we're taking our center back darts. I can do it any way I want to do it. There's no standard for this whole thing. You can start where you're comfortable starting and stop where you're comfortable stopping. It just depends on what you want. Now we'll be rolling our armhole line inside, connecting this to our chest line. This is, I told you already, this is our chest line, nipple points or nipple line, waist, just in case you forget. So next thing we're doing is that we're dividing this line. You know, in our center front, we went up by 2 inches, but for our center back, we'll be dividing our center back by 2. Just dividing your table to get the midpoint. And we'll be marking this. We're going inside by 0.5 inches. You know, for our center front, we went inside by 0.75 inches, but our center back will be going inside by 0.5 inches. We're marking our bust measurement, which is 9.25. How did we get 9.25? That is 37 divided by 4, which is 9.25. So we'll be connecting these together. And connecting this part together too. And also this midpoint, we'll be ruling this in because we'll be using it to get our fitted waist. It's important for us to use it to get our fitted waist, the slim waist that you see and that all these models have. We'll be needing this to get the zip snitch or the waist snitch. So the next thing we'll be doing is drawing our darts. And our darts is, we measured it 4.5 inches. 4.5 inches. I'll be going down by 6 inches. And rolling that into excuse me. and taking what? We'll be taking 0.5 inches on both sides. Excuse me. And connecting it together. You know, drawing your basic bodice pattern is like playing a game. That's why I said it's about connecting. You just have to have understanding and know the basics, and once you know the basic, you can do anything. You can alter it the way you want to, change it the way you want to. Just have the basic understanding of your basic bodice pattern. That's just what you need. And from our waist, we'll be going inside by half an inch. You can go inside by 1 inches. That if you want to do 100% waist snitch, but I'll be going inside by inch, and I'll be connecting this from my midpoint, the midpoint of my armhole, where the curve started from or starts from, and I'll be connecting that to where my bodice will stop. My body stopped at 23. This is basically easy. This is easy, totally easy. You just have to focus and practice to get the right thing. So for our waist measurement is 30, and 30 divided by 4 is 7.5. Remember, we have to add our darts back, and that will be 8.5 plus this waist snitch we took. That will be 9 inches. We added 9 inches in there. Adding 9 inches in there, and we'll be putting in our hip measurement, and our hip measurement is 42. 42 divided by 4 is 10.5. So we're adding in our hip and connecting together. This is basically easy. We are done already. We are done already. If not that I was actually trying to explain, I would have been done already, because it's very, very easy. I'll be connecting this to the hip. See, we're done with we're completely done with our center back measurement. We are almost done with our center back measurements. We're adding half an inch on each side for the zip allowance. Connecting together and connecting this together. We are done with our center back measurements. So for our center front measurements, I need to explain something to you. This is our complete length. This is our basic bodice length, which is 23. But remember that when you add these darts and transfer it to the shoulder, when you close these darts and transfer it to the shoulder, this bodice becomes too short. So the 3 inches which we'll be removing here, we'll be adding it down. See that I only drew this line here, I didn't draw it here, because these 3 inches, we'll be adding it down here, and this is the blue line that I marked already. Let's measure it together and see what it is. Obviously it's 3 inches, and this is 3 inches because we want it to balance. We want the length to be 23 inches. That's what we're doing. And now the next thing we're doing is connecting our hip together. Now our hip is 10.5. Which we are done connecting. So next I'll be showing you how to close your dart and transfer it to your shoulder. So to get our shoulder darts, or to transfer our darts, what we'll be doing now is the midpoint of our shoulder marking that in. I'm taking my marker. I'll be connecting that to our nipple point. Also, next thing we'll be doing now is closing our darts. So what do we need to do? We need to cut this midpoint, follow the line that we've made that connects itself to our nipple points, and stop here where the two lines meet. And next we'll be doing now is connecting this. Actually, let me do it the other way. Connecting this to this and taping it down. So automatically cut this out. So automatically this dart has been transferred to our shoulder. Now we can take this inside and also take our waist dart inside. Now let's check if our center back waist and our center front waist and length is basically the same thing. As you can see, our center back waist and our center front waist, as you can see, we're done with our pattern drafting. As you can see, we're done with our pattern drafting, and you can see that it is basically easy. You can see the waist niche here, you can see your waist, you can see your nipple to nipple measurements. Everything is just there, and you can see that the length is basically the same thing.